10 WWE wrestlers who clearly forgot their spot during a wrestling match. Let's watch.
Traditionally, before a match takes place in WWE, several of the notable spots are determined before the bell is even rung. Sometimes wrestlers in the match have to remember a number of spots, and it can become difficult to remember every single spot without being given a subtle reminder from an opponent. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who completely forgot their spot. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10, Jeff Hardy, Survivor Series 2002. Jeff Hardy's matches, particularly those during his time in WWE, were notoriously filled with dramatic and dangerous spots, and inevitably, Hardy was going to eventually forget one of his spots. This finally occurred at the 2002 Survivor Series event. Hardy would team with Bubba Ray Dudley and Spike to take on 3-Minute Warning in a tables match. The match was going completely fine until Hardy completely forgot the spot. The spot was supposed to see Rico climb to the top rope, only for Hardy to knock him down. When the time came for Hardy to perform this spot, he was completely absent in the ring, and Rico was forced to shout for Hardy to come over and perform the spot as originally planned. Unfortunately, Rico's shouting out for Hardy was extremely noticeable, and this forced WWE to edit out the mishap on the digital version of the 2002 Survivor Series pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Number 9, The Undertaker Bragging Rights 2009. The inaugural Bragging Rights pay-per-view in 2009 featured a stacked fatal 4-way for the world title. The Undertaker would defend against Batista, CM Punk, and Rey Mysterio, and the final portion of the match was a confusing mess, as it appeared that the dead man had forgotten his planned spot. Taker would hit a chokeslam on Batista and would then ask Batista if he's okay. Batista then had to remind the dead man that he needed to hit him with the Tombstone Piledriver. It was rumored at the time that Batista may have suffered an injury in the match, so the dead man was reluctant to perform a move such as the Tombstone. However, the multi-time world champion didn't miss any time away from WWE programming, so it's entirely possible that the dead man on this occasion did in fact forget the next planned spot in the match. Number 8, Ryan Shamrock, St. Valentine's Day Massacre 1999. WWE's first and only St. Valentine's Day Massacre pay-per-view featured an action-packed card for the Attitude Era audience. One of the biggest matches on the card saw Ken Shamrock defend his Intercontinental title against Val Venis. Venus wouldn't be alone in the match, as he would be accompanied by Shamrock's own sister, Ryan Shamrock. As she wasn't the most gifted performer in the world, and funnily enough, she was heavily involved in the finish, as she was supposed to slap her brother across the face. The issue here was that Ryan had to be audibly reminded of the planned spot, as Ken Shamrock literally screamed, "Slap me," for the entire world to hear.
What?
It was incredibly distracting, and WWE hadn't even bothered to edit out the audio of the WWE Network version of the pay-per-view.
Bro, you could read
Number 7, Bubba Ray Dudley,
clear.
TLC 4. Whilst TLC matches offer a visual spectacle for fans, the dangers of the matches have to be addressed. Wrestlers who take part in TLC-style matches put their bodies on the line for the enjoyment of the fans, and sometimes they can get seriously hurt. This was unfortunately the case in 2002 when Bubba Ray Dudley suffered a concussion during the 4th TLC match on Raw. This concussion occurred when Bubba received a bulldog off a ladder from Chris Jericho, and Bubba landed right on his face in a harrowing landing. Bubba had admitted in interviews that he didn't remember anything that happened during the match, and Jericho had to guide Bubba through his spots in the match. This was pivotal on the part of Jericho, as Jericho had to ensure that his spots were delivered as planned, but also that Bubba's spots were executed safely and he didn't suffer any further injuries. Number 6, The Great Khali, the Royal Rumble 2007. Spots in wrestling matches don't just relate to the moves themselves, they can often refer to things such as making sure a wrestler is looking at a specific camera or interacting with the crowd at a certain point of the match. At the 2007 Royal Rumble, the Great Khali cleared house and was supposed to pose in front of the hard camera ahead of The Undertaker making his entrance into the match. Unfortunately, Khali completely misunderstood this direction, as he walked aimlessly around the ring, completely ignoring the planned spot. It was then up to the legendary Shawn Michaels to inform Khali to pose to the hard camera, and whilst HBK was incredibly loud when delivering this instruction, he had no choice in the matter. Number 5, Vader, SummerSlam 1996. WWE had major plans for Vader in '96. The company wanted the former WCW champion to become their new top heel. However, due to the poor reception to his main event match with Shawn Michaels at the SummerSlam event, his push was cancelled. There was a noticeable clash of styles in the match, and HBK was infamously difficult to deal with at this point in time. There was a spot in the match which went awkwardly wrong as Vader forgot to move out of the way following a top rope elbow attempt from HBK. This led to him abandoning the spot and berating Vader in front of the live audience. HBK would even kick Vader in the face, which was incredibly brazen of the reigning WWE champion, as Vader could have easily retaliated with equal force, but the Mastodon kept his professionalism intact. Number 4, Braun Strowman, WrestleMania 35. Battle Royals are traditionally booked in a way so that wrestlers only have to remember a select number of spots. This is mainly done because Battle Royals can contain a plethora of wrestlers, which in turn makes the match hard to produce. The Battle Royal at WrestleMania 35, which was for the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy, featured an infamous spot being botched, which resulted in a distressing injury being caused. The late great Luke Harper would hoist Mustafa Ali for a suplex on the edge of the ring, and the spot was supposed to see Braun Strowman kicking the two off the apron. However, Strowman was so lost in the match that he completely forgot what he was supposed to do. This forced Harper to audibly shout over to Strowman to get his attention, and the spot went ahead. Unfortunately, Ali had a scary landing as his eye bounced off the corner of the announce table. Whilst this was indeed a serious injury, it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, Harper rotated Ali in midair, which stopped him from landing right on his neck. Number 3, Big E Raw 2016. The February 8, 2016 edition of Raw featured a chaotic tables match which pitted the New Day and Mark Henry versus the Usos and the Dudley Boys. The finish of the match was supposed to see Big E take a 3D through a table, but the problem was that Big E was sailing outside of the ring, so he wasn't in the right position to take the spot. The ring. Number 2, Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor, Royal Rumble 2018. The Men's Royal Rumble in 2018 received widespread criticism and acclaim, with some fans even labeling the match as one of the greatest Rumbles of all time. The final portion of the match featured an old generation versus new generation showdown, and it made the fans go crazy. During this showdown, Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor had seemingly waited. The Men's Royal Rumble in 2018 received widespread criticism and acclaim, with some fans even labeling the match as one of the greatest Rumbles of all time. The final portion of the match featured an old generation versus new generation showdown, and it made the fans go crazy. During this showdown, Shinsuke Nakamura and Finn Balor had seemingly waited far too long to perform their scheduled spots, and this forced WWE legend John Cena to improvise. Cena is infamous for calling spots out as loud as possible, and the 2000
Dude is just yelling, bro.
Far too long.
Like a goddamn movie director.
Perform their scheduled spots.
Big mouth.
Forced WWE legend John Cena to improvise. Cena is infamous for calling spots out as loud as possible, and the 2018 Rumble was no exception. As Cena and Roman Reigns were having a face-off, the planned spot was to see Nakamura and Balor attack the two men, but Cena was forced to yell,
WrestleMania moment once again,
as Nakamura and Balor were nowhere to be seen. And number 1, Bobby Lashley, Raw 2019. One of Kurt Angle's final matches in WWE was a 6-man tag match on Raw in 2019. Whilst the match was passable, the post-match angle featured one of the most hilarious incidents of a wrestler outright forgetting their spot. Angle was being beaten down on the outside of the ring by Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre, but Lashley was completely baffled by what the planned spot was supposed to be. In the spot itself, Corbin was holding the steel steps while McIntyre had a hold of Angle. In comedic fashion, Lashley would pace back and forth between Corbin and McIntyre as he couldn't work out what on earth he was.
He looked so confused.
Corbin was holding the steel steps while McIntyre had a hold of Angle. In comedic fashion, Lashley would pace back and forth between Corbin and McIntyre as he couldn't work out what on earth he was supposed to do. The spot was rather simple, as it was just supposed to see Lashley and McIntyre throw Angle into the ring steps as Corbin held them in place. It's unclear why Lashley was so perplexed by the spot, but it made for a hysterical moment live on Raw. But there you have it, folks.
Oh, he looks so lost. Oh, that is so embarrassing because I've been there before. I've done that before, so it's funny as hell. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this reaction. Like, you know, like in school plays or whatever, you got your little role and then you kind of forget, out of like, you know, nervousness or whatever, you kind of forget your next your next whatever. It's like so embarrassing when someone has to tell you what to do, especially if it's like loud as hell and like everybody can hear it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this reaction, y'all. Make sure y'all leave some likes and comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.